Assalamu alaikum, fam. Hope you're doing well. There's this beautiful, patriotic English poem that is very thought provoking by Rupert Brooke. The world was at war essentially, 1914, 1945. And there was a lot of poets who wrote about, how they feel and stuff like that. This particular poet died from blood poisoning, but he lives on, I guess you could say, through his work here. So let's read it. The Soldier. If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. So here, just to pause right there, is that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. So remember, he's, mentioning all these soldiers who, died in World War One in a distant land far from home. And so when you're in a corner, that's usually when you begin to think about where's home? How do you get out of that corner? Trench warfare during World War One is where many perished. It's kind of a strange form of warfare, because when the sides get up, they just get mowed down by artillery. So it is a kind of a weird way, and it's muddy and pestilence. I wonder why they chose that method. But you're often cornered in the trenches, like with your back literally against a dirt wall. And England is with these people in their hearts. It's almost like you can kind of feel his solemnness in his poem. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed. So I like how he mentions dust here because you get the image of, us turning to dust, right? The earth becomes richer with what it consumes. So earth, we definitely think of, the soil, because the soil is what makes much of everything grow. It is the nutrient blanket that we walk upon. And the dust, the dirt, conceals much, grows over. So these people are perishing and they're turning to dust, and the earth conceals it, but, their blood will enrich the soil. Some of the best fertilizer is animal blood. Plants absolutely love it, and it creates very rich soil. So here, the blood of the patriots is going to be concealed in the earth, and it's going to be English blood, and that's going to help make that a little special place. A dust whom England bore, shaped, made aware, gave, once, her flowers to love, her ways to roam. So here it's like a dust who England bore. So the rich soil, the food, the crops feeding in to the people returning to that dust. This whole cycle of life and death, of ecosystems, food supply, food chain, and perishing in a time of war. So England has given birth to these richly patriotic, rigorous, righteous men, and even if they're in a foreign field, that'll still forever be England, because those people who died carried England within their very veins. You can get much from it. And her flowers to love. So that kind of reminds me of the women who often had their husbands die in war. And it's almost like it mentions these, seeds of children, his sperm, his life, all those blooming flowers, women waiting for their husbands, children being born without their fathers. There's a lot going on here. There's many ways you can look at that flower point. Her ways to roam, a body of England's breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by sons of home. So now this is interesting how the sons of home is also like the male symbol of the sun, right? The glorious, but also sons as in the lineage of England, a patriarchal heritage lineage to the land. To be English was to have, your house go back, your system. It's not like today with, borderless and, you know, now anybody can live everywhere. There's not really ties to as much anymore. But here it's like the sons of England, who are the sons who, create those flowering fields of love, who maintain the soil and will return to the soil, who eat from the soil, who are dying in a foreign land. Well, they may not be able to go back home and be on the body of England and breathe the fresh English air, but they'll be washed by the rivers, spread about to return to the soil, and returned back in that way. You think of the water cycle when you think of the river cycle, and also just how water breaks things down. Because water can make rocks smooth. That's how you get river rocks. So if a river can break down water, it'll break down your flesh. You'll be dispersed, put back into the soil, and then the cycle continues. So there's so many ways you can break this down in a sort of poetic way. Really, there's just so much here. And think this heart, all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind. So here, this heart, all evil shed away. So notice how the evil shed away, washed by the rivers. So shedding, movement, and the eternal mind. So really kind of going at your consciousness, but also mentioning your soul, but also reminds you of God being the eternal mind. Allah is, for me, it's not necessarily a mind. You can't compare God to creation. Mind is to put Allah within limits, but when you think of eternal mind, you think of an eternal being, and that we die for this reality, but we go on to the next. So it is quite interesting how he makes it so poetic in that way. Shedding of your fleshly body, with that your sins of your flesh remaining behind. You'll be judged for your deeds, but the evilness, that those different impulses aren't going to be available in the next realm. So you are having your sort of evil shed away. Reminds me of how we're told that, all evil will be taken out of our hearts if we enter paradise. So when he mentions this heart, all evil shed away, reminds me of that. Give somewhere back the thoughts by England given. So giving some thoughts back that England gave. So this sort of giving back from what you took. That's why it's really interesting. He's mentioned gave a lot, right? So he said, England bore, shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, and then here you see again, give somewhere back the thoughts by England given. So England gave these healthy humans to go and fight the war, and they brought their ideas that England had given them back. And so you see this sort of cyclical messaging here. The soil being pure, going back to a more pure state of mind, pure state of consciousness. Love of your country, going back. So there's the mention of corner of a foreign field. And then you imagine somewhere back by the thoughts. So even if you're in a foreign land, if you think about it, you still think about your homeland, where you're from, nostalgia, right? You have a deep connection to your soil. It's really quite interesting. Her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter learnt of friends, and gentleness, and hearts at peace under an English heaven. So here it's really cool because you get to see the positive frame of patriotism. He has a good way of nationalism. He loves his country, and you can respect that. World War I was pretty brutal. Millions of people died. And so this poet, capturing much of the horror of the day. Mentions dust, breathing fresh English air, English heaven, thoughts that were given by England, somewhere back in England. I mean, it's really quite touching because you can really feel the sense of he will do what he has to for his country. Because remember, this is the time of fascism and National Socialism rising. And it's a pretty brutal time, you know? So you can feel his sense of solemnness, melancholy, nostalgia, and it really sets the mood, especially with images of rich dust, right? So you're disintegrating, but you're making the soil richer, even with your death, because you came from a place where the suns are blessing the soil, where the air is fresh, where the rivers run and purify, and in your death, the evil that you had within you will be shed away. And even the sights and sounds are enough to sustain you. The dreams of happy as her day to keep you motivated. The laughter, the joy that'll get you through the war. It's really quite beautiful. What do you think?